Beacon Hill this past January, the Massachusetts legislature got rid of what had been a 4-term limit for House Speaker, thus paving the way for present Speaker Robert DeLeo to continue in that role. But term limits in general, for him or against?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Yeah? It can't come soon enough?
You got it.
What about if you got somebody really good? That's just the way it goes?
I would say that's just the way it goes.
But I think probably term limits would be a good thing, because then, you know, you would get rid of some of the people that, you know, just keep getting elected just because they have name recognition.
Yeah. On Beacon Hill last January, the legislature got rid of the term limits for the Speaker. What do you think of having gotten rid of that for the Speaker?
I think it should be across more than just a speaker, if you're going to do it.
Do you think politicians should be limited to
Absolutely. I think they definitely should be. I think if they stay too long, they might get complacent or they might not work as hard.
Are you ready? It is time now for the critically acclaimed OTR Roundtable, and we're joined this week by Democrat analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican analyst Ginny Buckingham. I don't know what critic acclaimed it, but it's critically acclaimed anyway.
So any political consequences for this speaker, Marianne, do you think is for his personal reversal on term limits when he decided he was going to run for speaker again?
No, he's more powerful than ever. He's the center of gravity at the State House. None whatsoever. He's running the show.
There's two things the media care about and voters do not: campaign finance reform and term limits.
Carly Fiorina says, Ginny, that if she was elected, she would consider Charlie Baker for a cabinet post. What is the line of thinking behind it?
Well, first of all, she's not going to be elected. She's not going to be the nominee. But if she were, who wouldn't want Charlie Baker? He's a rock star.
He's a rock star.
I think it was more the analogy of Republican businessman who's now the governor and CEO of a state is just like this other thing, which is a former Republican businesswoman who wants to be CEO of the country and president. That was the analogy.
I get the rhythm there.
He's a little bit more moderate than she is.
In a blue state.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Patrick Kennedy, let's move the conversation to that. He confirmed this week a lot of what's been said for decades. His book talks about mental illness and addictions. He says he says his family has suffered, an example of why mental illness is not being addressed in this country. What's your review of what you have heard and seen so far, Jenny?
So truth can be hard to find in politics, and I give him enormous credit for the grace and the courage to talk about something that no one wants to talk about.
Marianne?
I'm not a fan of kiss and tell books, especially when other people are no longer here to reveal their side of the story. That said, if this is something Patrick Kennedy needs to do for his own recovery, then I think perhaps his father and others would be more understanding.
What do you think about his argument that a lot of what is in this book are in other books that are in the same bookstore, and what he is just merely doing is confirming his view of it?
That's rationalization.
I think he's trying to make meaning of his experience and help other people.
In fact, we asked Congressman Joe Kennedy this week if Patrick actually broke the Kennedy Code. Here's what he said. Listen.
There's no Kennedy Code. Gonna go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That was quick. I'm not sure you heard it, Marion. He said there's no Kennedy Code. Your thoughts?
I think Joe Kennedy's speaking the truth there, as he always is. I mean, that's Joe Kennedy. That's his experience. That's his belief. And I think, you know, we have every reason to believe what he had to say there.
Well, Ted Kennedy Jr. clearly thought Patrick broke the code and said as much.
Families are messy things.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton is seeing her numbers in New Hampshire and Iowa below Bernie Sanders. She's doing more interviews, for example, more one-on-one with local stations. She's moving to the left of Sanders on gun control. Here's an example of what she said in New Hampshire this past week.
The gun industry and gun sellers are the only business in America that is totally free of liability for their behavior.
Will this work, Marianne?
Well, a couple things. First of all, Hillary Clinton isn't behind in Iowa, and it's a single-point race in New Hampshire. There weren't 20,000 people at Bernie Sanders' rally this week. There were 8,000. I went there, and I found that out. Next of all, she's always been to the left of Bernie Sanders on guns because Bernie Sanders voted against the Brady gun law. So that should tell you everything right there.
Moving to the left, good idea for her?
Yeah, it's a low-hanging fruit. It's an easy play.
But she's always been there.
Marco Rubio is this week's new shiny object among establishment Republicans, and he's climbing in the polls. He has stood out in debates, and now that the spotlight and the scrutiny will be focused on him, Marianne, what do you see happening?
I think it says more about Jeb Bush than it says about Marco Rubio. The fact is, Trump's still beating all of them, and beating all of them, including Rubio and Jeb Bush in Florida. So, you know, Rubio was everybody's favorite at the beginning of this race. He dropped. He's come back again. But again, we're not talking about Jeb Bush, and that says more than anything.
Ginny, what's your read?
So it's his moment, and I think he's a future huge light for the party, but I think he needs to go back to Florida, run for governor, get some experience under his belt. We've seen what happens when we elect an inexperienced senator to the presidency.
VP, maybe, list?
Possibly.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.